Welcome to WO50 Podcast. Women over 50 embody wisdom and wellness.
My name is Corrine, and I'm here with my BFF, Eddi. And today our topic is turning the holidays into holiday harmony.
How lovely.
Yeah, we got in the holiday spirit by talking about some of the stressors. We talked about the top 4 stressors that people stress about holidays, which is number 1 is finances.
Finances.
Yeah.
Traveling.
Traveling and planning for travel. And
family gatherings.
And disrupted routines.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we touched on all of it, and we gave a little advice and personal stuff. Yeah.
So we hope you take advantage of our tips if they're helpful for you, and that you enjoy the conversation as much as we did.
Happy holidays. Hi, Kin.
It's been a while, since we've done this, because we've been together.
Yes. And now it's been a couple of weeks and we get to see each other. Can you believe it? It's been a couple of weeks in Sicily.
Wow. Yeah. We texted each other a week ago and said, have we only been back for 1 week?
Wow.
And now it's been exactly 2 weeks. And, we did record 1 or 2 while we were together. It's so funny. We were together 5 weeks. We recorded 2 podcasts.
We were too busy driving and traveling and sightseeing and enjoying the weather.
Retreating and exactly. Yeah. So it's coming up on the holidays. It's going to be Thanksgiving here in the U.S. I was in Newfoundland when we had Thanksgiving. We had a little Thanksgiving at your house. That was lovely.
That's right. Canadian Thanksgiving is in October, and American Thanksgiving is coming up. It's in November. So it's next week for you guys.
Yep. And then it's Christmas for everybody coming up soon after that. I can't even believe it's already past mid-November. Yep. And this is a good podcast no matter what time of year it is for you, because it's yes, we all get together. It seems like we have a little more travel, usually in holiday times, and a little more stress. But we just live in a life right now, whether it's the news on TV or politics or family situations or whatever it is, or finances. I think stress is a very natural part of life.
It is, and 'tis the season. Fa la 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 la. For everybody. It's also year end. There's a lot goes on over the next few weeks here, and there's a lot, people are traveling. There's more stress around their money and buying more gifts. And there's a lot,
Yeah.
Your routine's upset.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was sort of, what we wanted to pinpoint some specific topics. And there was a study that I heard about on the Jay Shetty podcast, and shout out to Jay Shetty. Love him.
Hey,
so say, hey, Jay, if you're listening, there was a study done on the top stressors that we have to deal with, that people have to deal with, and why they find the holidays stressful. And the top stressor was financial, as Eddi just mentioned. And the second one is the anticipation of family gatherings. The third stressor is travel and planning, involved in travel and planning. And then the fourth one was disrupted routines. So we're going to take each one of those topics and discuss sort of how we deal with them, how maybe the challenges that we have. So what do you want to tackle first, Ed?
Let's talk about the financial one. Take a big bite out of the elephant here now.
Since that's the top stressor, right?
Yeah, a lot of people in my office this time of year, that's one of their biggest issues is finances, budgeting, and there's big ticket items the kids want, or how do they do it this year? And,
for me, it's travel. I always have to spend money traveling to stay. Luckily, I don't have to spend money on staying, because I stay with my sister, but I have to fly to Canada and then fly to my brother's place and then fly back. So that's an extra $1,100 right off the top that comes off before presents. And I'm a big present buyer too. And for me, what I've done, I lose track of what I've bought for who, and it's ridiculous. What I started doing years ago is I started homemaking my presents. So like and which can cost a little bit of money too, but you can do it on a budget, be creative with it.
Mhm.
And so like I remember one year I made everybody a recipe book of all the family recipes. And actually I've done that 3 years over the last 20 years. I've made the family recipe, I updated or make a new one, a family recipe book. And it's time consuming. But I
Mhm.
love that kind of thing. If you like crafts like that, to put everybody's, so would have people, my dad's picture and then his 5 recipes that he was known for, and then a couple of my mom's pictures and what she's known for. And it was really fun to do. The first one I did, I've done, yeah, 3 of them.
Nice, nice. That's really sweet. My granddaughter brought out a birthday card I gave her for her 6th birthday this year, and I did a little collage of pictures for both her and my grandson too. I did the same thing. Got to do the same thing. They're 8 and 6, but she brings it out to me and she goes, "Nana, will you do another one like this for me so I'll always have these memories?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, she appreciates it." So,
Oh, you
you
make the
know,
best cards, Eddie, over the years. Like you've turned me on to that because I've never really been a card person because, usually you just buy them in the store, but you always do handmade cards that I know have taken you so long to do. And I've kept many of your cards over the years.
well, especially for the big years, right? The big numbers or when
Yeah.
something's yeah, when it speaks to your heart. But
Yeah.
I remember one year I made crafts for everybody, and one of my sisters said, "Could you not make things for us next year?" Now, I've become a better knitter since then, and, oh my goodness, I even did a gift this year. If she's listening, maybe I'll have to send this gift out to her before, she listens to this podcast, but she lives out in a little place out in Eastport area, and she'll know who she is soon, and but she's from Gander, the come from away place, and I was I learned to rug hook. So there's a big joke, like you've become a hooker, you're rug hooking now. So I bought the kit at the Christmas craft fair last weekend, and it's a polar bear and it's beautiful, and I started rug hooking. And of course, once I start something like that, I've never done it before, and I couldn't stop. So 4 hours later, it doesn't look like a polar bear, but it looks identical to their dog, my friend's dog, Mikey, who was he was a little toy poodle, and he passed last year. And honest to goodness gracious, this little rug looks like Mikey with his nose in the snow. But it started out being a polar bear,
That is awesome.
but she's going to love it because it's Mikey. So it's very sweet. So that's going to be really special.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's the time. And another thing that I've done, I'm kind of the family, what's it called when you keep track of all the photos and videos? Anyways, I keep track of all the family photos and videos over for the last since my 26-year-old niece since she was 2. So 24 years I've been chronicling. I've been chronicling
Oh, chronic. Well, good for you.
chronicling our family. And it was really fun when the kids were little because there'd be a lot of change. But I used to do videos and I used to make movies. So every 3 or 4 years, everybody would get a movie of the last 3 or 4 years. And I might have to do that if I have time this year because I actually haven't done one since my dad passed in 2019. So I haven't done
Mm.
one, I think, since 2018. So it's 5 years. It is time now to do another movie. So that's another
Yeah.
homemade thing that I
Yeah, you're
do.
good at that. You're good at
The movies. Well, that's why I do
yeah,
the podcast stuff
I
because
know.
yeah, it's a hobby of mine and I enjoy it. So you just figure out what you enjoy doing and just don't not going overboard. I've certainly gone overboard over the years, but then you don't want to play catch up that causes the stress. Like you're in charge of your finances, right?
Yeah.
And so writing down, like that's the mistake that I've done in the past, is not writing down sort of what I've bought for who along the way. And so I end up buying like 3 things for somebody and then I have to match it to somebody. So keeping track of that might be a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or not doing
Set
presents
up.
at all.
Yeah, not doing I did one year I just bought when I give, I think it changes each year because as people get older and nieces and nephews get older, some really appreciate a monetary gift and there was another year I gave everybody a homemade card, and inside the card was everybody gave to a um like UNICEF or Global or your orphanage, or there was something I picked for everybody. And there was another one. This is back a few years ago now, and I bought a goat, for a family. And one of my
Yeah.
nieces said, I would have liked a goat.
She wanted the goat, not the family to have the goat. It's very cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, to donate, that's what people I like also too what my friends have done in the past before is pick a family and
Hmm.
choose a family in need. Like you can go to the YMCA or the homeless shelter and you pick a family and then all of you you find out what the family needs, what the single mom needs or whatever. And you all of your 5 or 6 friends, you all pitch in and you actually don't have it's not money. You get to buy different things. I remember buying stuff for a crib before and that's really fun. And then you drop it off with the mom on Christmas Eve or whatever. And sometimes you wrap the presents for the kids that didn't think they were getting any presents. And that's a fun thing to do with a group of friends instead of buying each other presents.
I saw another really beautiful thing, because random acts of kindness makes your heart feel really full, especially this time of year. And I thought, if every restaurant downtown, say you go in and you buy 5 dinners or 2 dinners or 1 dinner, and at the end of the night, the restaurant gives it to the homeless shelter. That's another beautiful thing to do,
Nice.
So
Nice.
there's different things we can do. There's
Yeah.
different things we can do. And again, not forgetting yourself, during the holidays, your routine, your yoga class, your meditation, your walks in nature, like, is so important.
Okay, so we're going to move on from topic number
Oh,
1, which is
sorry.
finances. You
Yeah.
just jumped right to it. So
You're
the
stressing me out talking about finances. Let's get to the next one.
so now we're
But you
going to
know
go
what?
to yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead.
But you know what? Well, it is important though to set a little budget so you don't overextend yourself, because we do
Yeah,
want a treat, but make sure we can get our visa bill paid off. And
yeah, exactly. And that you're not too overwhelmed January, February, March that you're playing catch up. Like that's not fun to do that. And so, yeah, so
Mhm.
absolutely. Okay, so the next topic that Eddie was naturally moving into was disrupted routines
Yes.
because we're eating extra sweets, you
Well,
know. Well, you're going
some
to eat a few extra sweets. You're going to eat a
we'll
little
all eat. Yep, we'll all eat little, whether it's gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free, there'll be wine, there'll be drinks, there'll be dinners, occasions, family get-togethers. So, and just paying attention to that, and that you're getting your sleep, that you're getting your walks in, and that you're really continuing your healthy habits. It is really important. Yeah.
everything in moderation because especially when you travel it's a lot easier when you're at home to continue your routines, but I know from myself and from the people that I coach it's like very hard to keep your routine when you're traveling, so it's extra important. So let's talk about the supplements that people can take around the holidays, the extra supplements.
Oh, yeah. Well, just make sure if you don't get enough sunlight, you're taking some vitamin D, some
D3 or
B12,
just D?
D3 and K2 is my favorite combo. For kids,
Okay.
just D3.
Okay.
As we get older, D3 with K2. Because a lot of people don't absorb enough of it. And, even in the gut health studies I do, it comes back that people are deficient in K2 and D3 and their B vitamins. So your B vitamins, especially B12. So you could take a B12, or you could take a B complex during the holidays. You can take a little bit of extra zinc or drink some echinacea zinc tea.
It's your
Um,
favorite, your
my
Tetley
favorite.
echinacea zinc.
It is my favorite. I travel everywhere with it because I swear by it. Yeah, I really do. It keeps me
Immunity, is
well.
it called immunity?
There's one of the teas is called immunity. Yeah,
Yeah.
little Tetley tea makes it.
Yeah,
They
that's
can
awesome.
they can sponsor us too if they'd like. That's great. Yeah, and vitamin C. So little packs of emergency is nice to keep on hand. There are 1,000 milligrams in a packet, and just pour it in your water and drink it, or pour it in your wine. No, I'm kidding. To put in some water. Yeah, so your multivitamin, just make sure you're taking that. So along the way, you're eating your greens, your veggies. Yeah,
Yeah, and
but
so you
those are
are
the main
it's
B's.
Yeah, and everything in balance and moderation, because if you try to stop yourself from not partaking, I mean, if you don't want to partake in any of the holiday drinking and eating, that's totally fine if you don't want to. But if you really want to partake in it, it's all about balance. So if you do overeat, you've got maybe digestive enzymes,
Yep.
and it's helpful to maybe walk afterwards, after a big meal, to
Mhm.
help your digestion a little bit.
Mhm.
And if you drink, if you happen to partake in the punch too much, if it's a little too strong, I don't do that anymore because I can't drink. But if you do, my secret that used to be my secret that worked every time, because I was even sensitive back then, even before I started paying more attention, as I would take a multivitamin, as long as I had food in my stomach, and an ibuprofen before bed, and drink like 2 full glasses of water, and then I would have no hangover.
Oh, wow, lucky you. That's good. I always say drink your water with your wine.
Yeah.
Jesus did it, you might as well do it. That's my
Excellent.
story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, and like for me, what I do is like I remember when my niece and nephew were really small and my sister needed help with the kids at Christmas time. It was harder for me to sneak away to meditate, but it would just be for a shorter time. So you might not get all of your workouts in or all of your walks in or as much as you do at home, but don't just like throw it all to the wind and say, okay, I'm just going to give. I mean, you might say, I'm going to give up all of it for a week, and that's fine. That's a choice too. At least you're not
Mhm.
debating about it in your head and feeling guilty about it. But my thing is always balance and moderation rather than just letting it all go and then feeling like crap. It's like just a
Yeah.
little bit of moderation. So if I do a little more dessert or, sitting around watching Christmas movies, I make sure I get out in the cold and walk for a little bit because it is cold in Canada.
Yep, and you can deep breathe. Nice big deep breaths, nice fresh air in your lungs, and yeah, yeah. Dress warm, like Colleen says, there's no such thing as being too cold. It's just you're not wearing the right
There's no
winter
such
gear.
thing as bad weather.
Oh,
There's
that's what it
bad
is.
clothing. You mess that up every time you like turn it around. What did you say? Yeah, anyways, there's no such thing as bad weather. It's just bad
Bad
clothing.
clothing. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's a good
So,
saying.
and then travel, right? So travel time is another one that stresses people out.
Well,
They're
the travel and the planning to travel. Yeah.
well, and also traveling these days, it's challenging because there's delayed flights and, you know, the
Yeah.
checking in the bags and what if, there's so much. So
Yes, we just went through all of that with planes, trains, and automobiles when
we did.
we flew from St. John's to New York, spent the night, then went from New York to Paris, spent
Hmm.
the night, and then went
Hmm.
from Paris to Sicily, and then spent
Spent two
3
weeks
nights, well, 2 weeks, but then we were 3 and 2 nights in different places and on the road. So,
with a carry on. So we had a carry on, which was great because the
my
stresses of losing bags with all those flight changes and traveling. So it was, yeah. And we had a couple of delayed flights but everything went smooth. So hopefully everything's back on track for the holidays.
Yeah, last year was pretty much a nightmare. I think last year and the year before with luggage.
Hmm.
That's not one of my, because I have to travel with checked luggage when I go home for Christmas, because with presents and stuff and with
Yeah.
winter clothing and all that. I actually don't worry about losing my luggage. I've only maybe 2 times in the 35 years I've traveled, luggage has been delayed. And one, the most it was 3 days. Usually it's 24 hours. And so
Yeah.
it's something I concern myself too much with. But I also am very easygoing and I just trust. So if you don't trust and you're worried about it, then it's better to do carry on. And if you can, and you don't have presents and stuff, you can. But I just do a lot of trust. Like even when flights get delayed and stuff, it's like know where your stressors are with all of this stuff because everybody's different. You're not going to trust as much as I do in some areas, and I'm not going to trust as much as you do. So know what your stressors and where your anxiety is, and that's what we're trying to do is kind of head off and know what it is, acknowledge it, and then sort
Hmm.
of maybe work on it, talk about it with somebody or write some things down, to try to avoid these things. So, in whatever way your planning and travel works for you, like if it works a little better for you to spend a little more money to upgrade so you get on it to comfort or whatever so that you can have a place for your carry-on luggage, then that's worth the money to spend to do that. Some people uh, so there's different things you can do for that. There's a lot of tips that I have because of traveling to India so much, like with water. Fortunately, a lot of the airports now you can fill your water bottle, but just make sure you buy water before you get on the plane, because the flight attendants are never going to give you quite as much water as you want.
Mhm.
And having a little tube. What did we had Kathy's, my friend's little moisturizing ball, which you can get
Mhm.
from a couple places. Moisturizing, what's it called? Moisturizing.
It's just a moisturizing butter, like a little
Yeah, it's like a
butter
little solid bee she
hardened
had. Yeah.
a hardened moisturizing lotion bar.
Yeah. And so when you feel your hands dry or your elbows dry or whatever, when you're flying, you just take a little
Mhm.
bit and rub it in your hands. And we had that. That was our best friend for the trip
And
on our
we had
flights.
some essential oils, which is really nice. So if you have to pull out your mask, have a little lavender or some peppermint or eucalyptus oil in your bag and just put a little dot on your mask and just use it as aromatherapy. Even if someone's around you stressing you out, you just take a big whiff and it can calm you right down.
It works so well. You turned me on to that a couple of years ago when we were all wearing masks, and that was my best friend, especially traveling to India 24 hours with a mask on. And
Yeah.
so that saved me. I would like rub, either peppermint or lavender in and put it actually right on the
Mhm.
mask, as you just said. And
Yeah.
boy, I loved it.
And it is cold and flu season and bugs are going around and COVID is still not out of the arena yet. So, don't be shy. If you want to wear your mask, wear it on, just follow your gut on it and if it makes you feel better, you know, do it. And I'm either way. If I feel uncomfortable or somebody's, snotty and sneezy, I said I'm going to put it on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, have your mask in cases, because especially this time of year, like, there were certain flights where people were sort of more sickly around us.
Yeah.
Um, and so, just try to use your discernment to sometimes put on your mask once in a while.
Mhm.
Probably help you a lot. And carry I like to carry ibuprofen with me, because you can get a little bit dehydrated when you fly, and,
Mhm.
I don't take it a lot, but it does help a lot when, if I've got a little bit of a headache for some reason. So
Yeah.
just, a lot of people dread travel. I don't know. I don't dread travel. I just am very easygoing with it. I just assume that
That's all.
there's gonna be things that do go wrong. I just
Mhm.
assume that, whether it's delays, but I also trust that it's all gonna flow, and I'll get there eventually.
I think if
And
we stay in the present moment with travel, not go too far ahead, just have a plan B, but we're going with the plan A.
yeah.
Instead of there's so many people when they're traveling, they go, "Oh, I hate flying," and the planes
Yeah.
are always this way, and they start just before they're on the plane,
Yes. Or
they're
before they even leave their
exhausted.
house. Yeah.
Yes, they're
Yeah.
exhausted. Oh, I hate to go there. Now we have to go visit family. We have to get on the. Well, you know what? Readjust. Just kind of go. Okay, this
What
is
can
what
I
we're gonna
do?
choose.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because you're gonna do it. So do you wanna be miserable while you're doing it, or do you wanna, like, create some things that will make it more enjoyable? Or like, I would know people that just wanna get to where they're going and don't want the plane process and the flight. And yeah, I get it.
yep,
Airplanes and airports are can be frustrating, but if you just I what I t the advice I give people when they're getting ready to travel to India, because that's a long ways, is I'm like, it's all part of the journey. Every
mhm,
step of the way, from packing to preparing to calling the Uber or getting a family member to drive you or taking a limo, whatever, to
yeah,
arriving at the airport. It's all, as you said, it's all present moment. Be where you're at. It's not about going and getting to what you want to do. It's not life. If you live life about the pleasures, about getting to where you want to go and being in pleasure, and being comfortable wherever you go, you're going to live half your life miserable.
that's right, that's right. And also this time of year, we're in the holidays, the DAZE or ZE, where it's not our typical routine. And so when we travel, everybody's working really hard to get you there.
Yeah.
And that little bit of kindness, like thank you, just instead of you see so much of the anger addressed to them, they're working the holidays, they're exhausted, they want to be home too. Same with waiters and waitresses and your chefs and
Taxi
every
drivers.
taxi drivers, every person that's, accommodating us along the way, like that little bit of kindness, even if the traffic, they can't control the traffic. They can't, they're
Or the
doing the
weather.
best. So
Yeah.
that little extra, that's your time to, okay, I'm going to lay back, take some deep breaths. We're stuck in the cab or we're on the plane. They're not letting us off right now. Let's just breathe. Let's take out some lavender. Let's, put it on our mask. Let's play a game, read a book, have
Watch a movie.
something, watch a movie, like use the time in the moment, savor the time you have with your loved ones, right at this moment. Because I don't know, that's what I think this time of year is, because and that brings us to the family time, right?
Yeah, the
That stresses a lot of
anticipation.
people.
Yeah, anticipation of family gatherings. Eckhart Tolle used to talk about, because he says like egos are pain bodies. So he just used to say family gatherings are a bunch of pain bodies.
Mm, yeah.
Because the
And
pain comes out, the reactions come out, the irritations come out, can come out.
it can, and I know I've been there where I've troubleshooted and I've been the fixer or the come on guys, let's sit down and talk about this. We don't need to do this, but this year it's more I'm just staying present moment, enjoying my family when I go visit. I don't have to fix nothing. I know that no has a period at the end of it. There's no explanations that need to be given. You do you and let
Yeah.
everyone else,
Be who
be
they
who
are.
they
And
are.
yeah, people are allowed to be irritating or loud or drink too much.
Yep.
It doesn't do any good you being pissed off at them. They're not going to change. But what you
No.
can do is like find a relative that you do enjoy talking to and talk to the people that you enjoy talking to. And the ones that you don't enjoy talking to, just avoid them. You can do that.
Oh,
You're a adult.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Well, there's many gatherings we go to. We go to concerts, we go to, skating rinks, and we go to all kinds of venues. We're not hanging out. I mean, there's a ton of people we know, but we're going to hang out with the people that we resonate with. And that's in our family as well.
Yeah, yeah, and that's actually a good idea is events. Like my sister-in-law is really good at that one. She usually hosts every year. We're not going to her house this year, which is a little bit disappointing because I she's the most amazing hostess. Like she'll plan, a big huge bonfire usually the first day we're there. I mean, it's huge. It's like 3 stories high, this bonfire that they've been collecting
Wow.
brush. Yeah, and there's snow around and it's like freezing cold. Your bum is like in 40 below zero and your front is in like 180 degrees. It's like you rotate like a little rotisserie chicken. And then we usually go to a movie on Christmas Day, the movie in like a 3D Max kind of thing. And then we'll go bowling and we'll go, yeah, ice skating or go see the lights. So instead of sitting, if you're a family that doesn't do very well, like talking and communication, then plan there's always lights to go see. There's
Yes.
always stuff that you can do so that you're not all
Go
sitting around staring at each other.
Yeah, go to a pottery class and make a mug, you know? Go make Christmas ornaments somewhere, or go learn how to make sourdough bread, or, take a cooking class, or go bring in a painter and have someone teach you how to paint. Like there's so many ideas. And families, especially when families that travel far and wide and I remember when I lived in Nashville flying home for Christmas, it was amazing. Now I'm in Newfoundland and getting together with family has become challenging now because the kids are older, we're older, there's grandkids, and families are spread out. So we got to pick who goes where. And, that's challenging for a lot of people as well.
Yeah, because you feel
Yeah.
guilty if somebody and that's, I think clear communication is important. I think what a lot of people do is they'll say yes to an invitation because they feel they just want to say yes. They're not good at saying no. And then as it gets closer, they have anxiety because they don't want to go for either they've overbooked themselves or they don't really like the people that are going to be there, like all of the, whatever their reasons are, right? So really
Mhm.
clear communications like saying no if you're feeling, remember we've talked about this on a couple podcasts that I heard, I think Jason Bateman talk about on his Smart List podcast, where if somebody says if they invite you to a party and if you had to go tomorrow, not 3 months from now or 3 weeks from now, but if you actually had to go to that party tomorrow, would you say yes? And usually that helps you clarify really quickly.
Mhm.
And then to be kind about it, say, listen, I so appreciate you including me and asking me to come. Like make a phone call, don't do a text or an email. call the person, say, it's so sweet of you, so kind of you to include me. And I hope you have a great party, but I'm just a little too overbooked, or I've got this other thing going on. So I hope you understand that I have to skip it this year. And then it's out of your consciousness and you don't have to be guilty about trying to think about how to cancel it the last minute.
Yeah. 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 It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So family gatherings can cause stress, but if you're anticipating it, your body is anticipating it for a reason because there's been stress in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So stress and anxiety are natural parts of life. You don't think people had stress like 150 years ago when they could get shot by a I mean, you could get shot just walking down the road to the saloon
Mm-hmm.
150 years ago, or 200 years ago, you could die of freezing to death because there was no heat or water in the summer. And
Yeah.
so stress and anxiety have been part of humans for thousands of years. And so
Mhm.
to name it and to instead of just be like trying to avoid it, your body's trying to tell you something. There's something that's not right about that. Now, what is it? And really tuning into yourself. What is it that's bothering you about this situation or the anticipation of the situation?
Well, and there's going to be people that want to just be alone. And then when they're alone, they realize, oh, I don't think I want to be alone this this year. Oh, now I've offended somebody. Well, just reach out anyway.
Yeah.
Just reach out to a loved one. Even if you don't have family around this Christmas, reach out to somebody. I
Yeah.
had
I love
somebody
that.
say, and if you're in therapy, stay in therapy.
Yes. Don't leave before the holidays.
No. No, it's
Yeah.
funny, I had a little one in my office the other day, she's, 8 years old, and we were talking about anxiety and excitement and emotions, and, you know, I said, emotion," my friend and I always say, "Emotion is energy in motion." And she said, "Yeah, well, I have energy in my sadness." I said, "Oh, yeah? And where do you feel your sadness in what part of your body do you feel sadness in?" She goes, my tears."
That's
It was
awesome.
so sweet. So sweet.
That's awesome.
But
I love
then
it.
they go, I cry, and then that's done. I was like, "Good for you. And then what do you feel?" She goes, "Happy." I said, "You like that energy in motion, that happy?" She totally got it. It was
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, those tears are a release of was it oxytocin, I think?
Yeah.
Tears release and are very healing and very cathartic, and you do feel better after tears. She felt it quite naturally without even thinking about it. So
Yes.
awesome.
Laughter, we link laughter to the release of oxytocin, but crying releases oxytocin too. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's all important.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what else, Corinne, during the holidays? What are you looking forward to? What's going to
I
stress you
look for
out?
to me the holidays. What's that?
What else is going to stress you out?
Oh,
Nothing.
you know what? I'm a person that's always loved the holidays, but the holidays to me is family. And since I've always lived away from my family since I was like 17, the holidays are always really important to me to spend time with my family. And so that's what I look forward to. I just bought my ticket just yesterday to go home. And
Yay.
yeah, so that's always exciting. I kind of checking flights for a few days, and I'm going to go to LA before for about 4 or 5 days, see Carolyn and Tonby and
Nice.
yeah, so and then go to
Yeah, well,
Vancouver.
this year family's so important to me as well. And this year we're in Newfoundland, and last year we were in Calgary for Christmas to see
Right.
family. And my stepson lives out there, and so now my daughter lives here, so we have to share the traveling back and forth. So everybody is celebrated in their lives.
Yeah,
So
you have to figure out the you have to share the love and figure out the schedule.
And
And
it's a holiday time too. It's not just, a lot of people, there's a lot of religious ceremonies and, Christmas. Some people don't celebrate Christmas, but they do celebrate the holiday season. So
mhm.
that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Yeah, whether you celebrate Christmas as Christmas or not, like I said, you can take this conversation and really use it for anything in life.
Mm.
Because I think I think everybody has those topics that we've talked about, has concerns around it. But I think what I really wanted people to come away from today was really, how to deal with the specific stressors, like naming the stressors. Cause I think I hear
Yeah.
so often, oh, I don't like the holidays or I'm not looking for it. Okay, well, why? Can we? Cause I'm not, I don't, it's like if you're complaining to me, and you don't want to try to look at it and fix it, I'm not really interested.
I
If
think people get a little nicer during the holidays.
Yeah,
That's where I go. You look around and, they're decorating their houses and, everything's a little shinier, even with the lights, like it is. It's shinier. And I like to look at that. I love little glitzy stuff. I love the snow, when we have a snowfall and there's light shining and I don't know, everyone's bundled up and people are going around shopping and they're in and out of stores and I don't know, it's like a Hallmark movie and I
yeah,
kind of like those kind of little my mom watches them all the time. Remember you and I used to watch them and I love, you know, happy movies like that. But I think there's something really sweet around the holiday time too, and
absolutely.
and
I
there's a
always
lot of
say
stressors too for some people, right? There's a lot of,
it's
I know
both.
lots.
It's
Yeah.
both. I feel like that's why we still have the holidays because there is something special about it. People are nicer. People are more present. I feel
Mhm.
like, and then, but also there is a lot of stressors too. So yeah. So we hope you have a wonderful holiday season and it turns into holiday harmony rather than holidays.
I hope so.
Yeah. So it's another deep dive, Ed. That was a good topic. Like
Yeah.
that.
Season's greetings.
All right. And we'll be out with another episode again soon. So I hope you find this helpful. Always leave us a message if you want to. Like, make sure you subscribe and share it if there's somebody in your life that you feel like could use the WO50 wisdom.
And we'll send you off with this. Happy holidays.